Hello and welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to read some more Reddit stories while I try to play Minecraft. I try to go to Nether and make an automatic chicken farm. And then I try to make it pretty at the best of my abilities. So let's get right into it. I'm going to start reading the stories, and you can do whatever you would like to do in the meantime. I'm going to just jump right in. The first story is from the subreddit of Today I effed up. Today I effed up by finally ending my hermit era to find my soulmate, only to realize he's my biological uncle. I have been pretty offline for most of my adult life, staying private and guarded. Well, after years of being a hermit, I finally decided to let myself go a little. Recently, I decided to dip my toes into the online connection world, mostly just looking to see what's out there and maybe find someone who actually gets me. Huge, massive mistake. I met this guy online, not on an app, just a niche interest forum community. From the first message, the chemistry was terrifyingly good. You know the feeling when you meet someone and it's like you're speaking a secret language only the two of you know? That was us. His worldview, the way he parsed the world, it all stirred something in me. Every single thought he shared, every perspective just resonated deep in my soul, and I felt this intense, undeniable connection. Like maybe, just maybe, this was the person I had been unknowingly searching for in everyone. Like I have been just searching for this person in everyone, and eventually my heart genuinely was a stirring of joy. We started texting daily, long conversations, and I was genuinely excited, feeling a way I have never felt before. We were planning to meet up soon. Then last night, while chatting about family, uh, totally innocently of course, a detail came up, a really, really specific, unique family detail that I mentioned, assuming it wouldn't mean anything. There was a long pause, and then he replied with, "Wait, is your grandfather name X?" And I thought, oh my god, our families know each other. This is so romantic. It's just destiny. But it wasn't destiny, it was DNA. The person I've been pouring my heart out to, who I thought was this incredible soul stirring man, is my freaking uncle. The one I barely see but technically exists. I have spent the last 3 weeks essentially e flirting and soul bonding with the man who used to bounce me on his knee at Christmas 25 years ago. I don't know whether to laugh, cry, or scream into a pillow for the next month. My brain feels scrambled and my heart feels simultaneously tricked and broken. I feel sick. I finally let my guard down, and the one person who actually gets me is the one person I am biologically barred from ever speaking to like that again. I haven't replied to his last message, and I think I might just delete the internet. This is just like truly unfortunate and funny. Not funny really. Like reading it is funny, but yeah, just imagine being in her position. I don't know how does that happen. I mean, like I guess yeah, if you're anonymous page, both of you, and just talking, it makes sense for it to happen. But that is so unfortunate. Like honestly, um, this isn't the worst case scenario. They didn't do anything. They didn't even like go beyond flirting online. So there's that. But it is really sad that finally you're feeling this connection with someone, and then out of nowhere, boom, they're related to you, and not just any sort of related to you. Like there's that. Thankfully, it didn't get to more than just flirting online, before you figured it out. So it could have been worse, but it's sad. And I really like that line that said it wasn't destiny, it was DNA. But yeah, just starting today with a little bit of a easy, light-hearted one. Okay. The second one is from the subreddit of Am I the A-hole? And it says, Am I the A-hole for photoshopping my nieces and nephews out of the pictures I posted online? My 27-year-old sister in law, which is her husband's sister, and is, 38 years old. The girl that is posting this is 27 years old. decided about a year ago that she does not want her kids' faces posted on social media. She still posts almost daily family photos, but always with the stickers covering the kids' faces. I only post on social media for special events. My friends list is mostly family and a few friends back home from Middle East. My grandma especially loves logging into Facebook to see pictures of my kids. She often messages me afterwards to talk about them and sometimes even shows the photos to her group of friends back home. She has told me this herself. I'm okay with a bunch of grannies seeing the pictures. At my son's fifth birthday recently, I was taking photos, and my sister in law approached me and said she does not want anyone online to see her kids' faces, and I said that I understand. So later, she told my husband also that she thinks it is weird that we are okay with exposing our kids online and that is just bad parenting. My husband laughed and said we are not like Instagram famous like her since she has quite a few followers and that no one really cares. He told her to just relax. Instead of putting stickers on her kids' faces, I photoshopped them out of the pictures before posting online. So, because my grandma sometimes prints photos and stickers would look odd in those printed photos. Also, my sister in law does not want her kids' pictures posted online anyway. My sister in law called me furiously and she said I was being a vindictive a hole and that it looked like her kids were not at the party or did not matter. My husband backed me up and said that she was overreacting. He told her that I respected her and that the, it didn't matter and that she wishes her kids not to be posted online anyway. And my mother-in-law says that we should explain the misunderstanding better and just apologize and end this argument. I think that there's no apologizing on the posting guys part because firstly that sister-in-law is too much into the business of others. If you don't want to post your kids online, I totally understand. Don't. But don't go around telling people they are bad parents if they are posting their kids online, mm, especially if their pages are private, and so I feel like firstly it's none of your business how other people raise their children, but also if you don't want your kids to be online, then yeah, they didn't do anything bad, they just removed them from the photos. Nobody was gonna recognize them anyways with the stickers on their faces. Like, what is the difference of a body with a sticker head being in the picture or just nothing being in the picture? Nobody's gonna realize, oh, that shoe is from X, for example. So X was at the party. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like just overreacting, no apology needed, and uh, no, she's not the a-hole. She didn't do anything wrong. Actually, she respected the choice of that person and edited the kids out. It's not like if they didn't have a problem with being posted online and she just removed them out of nowhere. So I think that they didn't do anything wrong. Let's go to the third story. This is a little bit of a funny one. I think that most of us maybe have experienced this at some level. It's from the Today I Effed Up subreddit and it goes as Today I effed up by volunteering to help my dad just for a minute. This happened last weekend and I'm still tired thinking about it. I stopped by my parents' house to drop something off. I was supposed to be there maybe 10 minutes. My dad was in the garage and asked if I could help him hold something real quick. This was my first mistake. The thing I was holding turned out to be a heavy wooden board he was trying to mount. While I was holding it, he said, "Actually, can you grab the drill?" So I held it with one hand and passed him the drill. Then he needed the screws, then a different bit, then he decided the whole thing wasn't level and needed to be adjusted. At no point did he let me stop holding the board. 30 minutes passed. My arms were shaking, sweat was dripping down my back. Every time I asked if we were almost done, he said, "Yeah, yeah, just one more thing." Eventually, my arms gave out and I dropped the board. It didn't break anything, but it scared both of us. My dad looked genuinely confused and said, "You should have said something." I did several times. I left an hour later with sore arms, guilt, and a reminder that just for a minute is a lie passed down through generations. Well, I think it really is a lie passed down through generations. I remember more than a couple of times that my dad told me to come help him for a minute, and maybe I even spent the whole day helping them. And truth be told, I kind of miss those days. Sometimes looking back, being a kid, not really having anything better to do, looking at dad fix something, maybe learning, spending with your dad that kind of time. Like, I don't know, for me this isn't that much of a bad thing. I understand it is labor, it is a slavery. But still, looking back these days, I think that I hated them at the time, but I'm thinking that maybe I shouldn't have that much. But whether he is the a-hole, he said it multiple times, but I feel like just the last second you feel it giving up, like your hands are giving up. So maybe say something in that moment. They'll be like, "Oh my God, he's dropping." I get it. He warned him that, okay, are we almost done? Are we almost done? But like also, when you feel your hands giving up, you should tell. You should just say, "Oh, this is going away. Like my hands are giving up," because he said that it scared both of us. So just silently dropping it is a little bit problematic. But no, it's not the a-hole. He just got tricked into a generation long a scheme, run by dads. Uh, so yeah, I think I'm curious if he was also holding his light. I remember a lot of times holding the damn light in the right angle. It's like really the classic dad trap. Just hold this real quick. So yeah, I like this comment. It says, "Just hold this real quick" is a siren's call that has lured generations into unexpected manual labor. Your arms are just the latest casualties. Consider yourself initiated into the secret, wary society of adult children who know now the truth. There is no such thing as a quick favor. Your suffering will be a lesson to your future children. Yeah, definitely, continuing the cycle. Okay, then this next story is from the Today I F'd Up subreddit, and it says, "Today I F'd up by chasing a diagnosis for 35 years, and the answer was in my dinner." Let me start by saying this is a Today I F'd Up that spans about 35 years. When I was around 7 years old, I started getting painful swelling in my neck and throat on a road trip with my cousins. Everyone assumed I was just getting sick and that some sun and time would clear it up. I remember it vividly because it was so uncomfortable I could barely eat. I dealt with it for about a week before I got home and told my parents. They took me to the pediatrician who poked around and told my mom I had mumps despite being vaccinated. Awesome. It eventually went away until around 10 when it happened again. New doctor, fresh out of school, said there is no way this is mumps and sent me for imaging and testing. Everything came back inconclusive. The new conclusion was it was psychosomatic, and that I got funneled into years of therapy and appointments about why I couldn't just let it go, why I was attention seeking, maybe it was ADHD, etc. The sensation never truly left, it was just fluctuated in severity. So, if you don't know, psychosomatic means that your brain is affecting your body and nothing is really happening to you, but because you remember that memory or that feeling and it just comes back and your brain believes that it's really happening again, so it has the same uh, body reaction. So, you're just basically making your body go through something subconsciously again and again. So far I think this is gonna be something like allergies because the OP is saying that it was in my dinner. Like it's an allergic reaction maybe. Let's see. Fast forward to 19. I'm in the military and home on leave visiting friends and family. This has been bothering me for 12 years at that point. I rode with a buddy to the Sprinter store. It was below freezing and his truck heater had the thermal output of a mouse of a mouse fart. We grabbed hot coffee before heading back out. I took one sip and felt something in my throat and neck move, like inches. I started coughing like crazy and hacked out a tonsil stone about the size of a popcorn kernel. Oh my god. That's. I had no idea what it was at the time, so I wrapped it in tissue and brought it home. My parents immediately recognized it. I was relieved and figured that had to be the end of it. It wasn't. Forward again about 32 years old. I've got kids, a wife, a career, and managing tonsillar stones mostly worked, but I still had that persistent lump in throat feeling almost all the time. I finally saw an ENT in the city we just moved to, and he basically said, forget the tonsil stones routine. Let's just take your tonsils out. I was 1,000% on board. No more weird mouthwashes, brushing like a crazy person, avoiding certain foods, etc. I was ready to be done. Surgery happened. Recovery was insane. Blood, a backwoods ER, fentanyl for minor pain, and a hospital that looked like it had 10 total people in it. But hey, tonsils were gone. Except the lump feeling was still there. I assumed it was phantom pain from surgery and tried to live with it. We moved again to a bigger city and I went for what I felt like my 100th opinion from doctors. More tests, more appointments, and the conclusion this time was that it's allergies. I did 3 years of allergy shots and still felt it. At that point, I was completely defeated. Everyone either thought I was nuts or drug seeking. Even family still treated it like a mental health. I gave up. Then yesterday, my youngest made taco rice for dinner. I'm sitting there eating like a really, really hungry person. I have to censor this person constantly. And suddenly I bite down on something very hard, about the size of a small marble. I spit it into a napkin and it's a bone, like an actual chunk of bone. My first thought was, how the hell does a bone like that end up in ground beef? Then it hit me. The lump feeling was gone. For the first time in 35 years, no swelling, no pain, no persistent lump sensation, no mumps, nothing, just normal. Um, what is good? Like, I'm thinking maybe an ingrown teeth, like a teeth growing somewhere that it shouldn't. What could it be? It just ends there, and then there is just this update that says, before the comments say anything, no, I haven't had imaging since. I'm booking an ENT follow up because this is insane. Yes, I kept the bone because nobody will believe me otherwise. I get it that it could have lodged somewhere weird, tonsil area, throat pocket, etc. I'm not claiming medical magic, just that this happened exactly like I described. I also get that it could be something other than bone, also why I saved it. That is a little bit insane. Like, I don't know, could it be a tonsil stone left behind from the tonsil surgery? Like maybe they removed the tonsils but left behind the tonsil stone, forgot about it, and then it just stayed there maybe, and it grew and it was big, so it remained for that feeling, and eventually right now it got out maybe, or like maybe when he was young he lost a tooth and it just he swallowed it and it got stuck in those tonsil holes, and again in the surgery they missed it, or maybe in one of the many other folds that we have in our throats, because our throat anatomy is quite foldy, so maybe he lost the teeth as a kid and then it just remained there. But uh, again, all of these would have been revealed by imaging of the throat and neck, and especially as a child. Like, so I don't get it. Did the doctors never do X-ray or like any sort of imaging on the throat area? Uh, I don't know how, because I feel like if anything was there, it should have been found by imaging. So that's weird. Mm, a tooth being somewhere in the throat, so like being somewhere it shouldn't be in general. It should have like glowed on an X-ray. So it's weird. I don't know. Hopefully we'll get an update. This post is from 7 days ago. But yeah, that's cool. Am I the a-hole with a very valuable estate sale find and not returning it? I went to an estate sale back in December with my girlfriend who loves going to them. I could care less but went to pass the time and be with her. We got there fairly early, and walking around looking at the stuff, in a corner I noticed a few old green metal army cans. There was some rust, wear and tear, and also some paint on a few of them. There was 5 cans. I opened one and saw some ammo, and opened the other one and also some ammo, loose bullets, and they would fit a gun I have, and or I could find a good use for them, or maybe even trade them. I'm a hunter, and ammo is expensive. So I found the person running the whole thing and showed her the cans and asked if they are for sale. She got her partner, and he said that technically they're not for sale and that he would have to dispose them. I guess he would like, I don't know. I didn't get it. A bit of a hassle on his end. I showed him my FFL and credentials that I could legally own the ammo in this estate, and I offered him $300 for the 5 cans to take them off of his hand. He took it, and I carried them to the car. One of the cans seemed heavier than the others, so I carried it to the car and thought it might contain a steel core ammo, which is heavier. When I got home, eventually I got the few things my girlfriend bought out of the car and into the house, and I also got the cans into the garage and wanted to see what I got 300 for. Four of the cans contained various calibers of ammo, most I could use, and the last one, which was the heavier one, had loose bullets, which I took out, and it had about 100 bullets or so, and underneath was some gold and silver coins and the small bars. A lot. Needless to say, I was pleasantly surprised. I showed my girlfriend, and she floored, checking the prices, and it was worth a considerable amount of money. I sold some of the coins before Christmas and bought her some nice jewelry and booked a cruise for February. Well, she came to me right after New Year's and said that she felt guilty about the find, that it belongs to someone and it should be returned, and etc. I explained that it was an estate sale, that people hired them to sell that stuff, and that she was having none of it. And she was having none of it. She said that she doesn't want to wear the necklace and refuses to go on the cruise because it's tainted money and it belongs to their heirs. I said I'm not returning this, we bought it fairly, she wants none of it though and won't hear logic. I think that there is no issue in keeping it because I agree with him. He bought them fair and square. The person sold them consensually. They didn't know what was in it, and he didn't know honestly what was in it either. He didn't know for sure what he's paying for as well. And like the heirs of that person who died didn't care enough to come go through this stuff. It was hidden, so like the bullets were gonna get disposed of and get thrown into the trash. So no, I feel like that was bought fair and square. I don't see that much of a problem with that. The next story. This one is from the best of Redditor updates, and yeah, the title goes like this. There is a 23-year-old female posting it with a 24-year-old boyfriend. My boyfriend wants to move in with me, but I want him to live alone first. So, my boyfriend and I have been together for 10 months. He lives with his parents and younger brothers, no sisters. Before current events, he was over at my place basically every night, and a couple of nights ago, he said that he wants to move in with me, and I'm totally up for it. I've been to his place more than once, and I've seen how their dynamic works. His mother does everything for all 5 men in the house: cooking, cleaning, works, everything. Basically, all they have to do is put their laundry away after she washes, dries, irons, and folds it. The reason the parents aren't forcing them to contribute is that this was the parents' agreement. He works and she stays at home. So she raises the kids and runs the household, and he pays for everything. With one of the clauses being that as she's doing everything, there is no need to involve the boys. That is a recipe for disaster. As a result, my boyfriend cannot do anything. I don't know how much of this is actual cluelessness and how much is him trying to get out of the stuff, but he has told me completely sincerely, and I checked this with his mother, that he cannot even fry an egg. Which is why, when my boyfriend suggested moving in together, I said I wanted him to live alone first. His plan was basically to go straight from his mother's house to my flat, and I told him my hesitation, which is that he cannot do chores. He then offered to pay more rent in exchange for me doing all the chores, which I said no to, and I don't want to be his mother or his maid. I want to be his girlfriend. Totally understandable. Then I told him I wanted him to live alone, go from his mother's house to his own place, figure out how to do all the things he's never done before, and learn some basic life skills, and then revisit us living together. He has caused a huge argument, biggest we've ever had, and he's taken me saying he has no life skills as an insult. Which it kind of was, to be fair, and basically said that clearly I don't want to live with him at all, as I've pushed the moving in time back and have only said we'd revisit after a few months of him living alone. And I did say revisit because I wanted to make sure he actually knew that he was doing it and wouldn't immediately switch back to offering more rent for no chores. This was all a couple of nights ago, and he's just stopped talking to me. He's at his mom's house, he's online, he's talking to mutual friends who have said he's responding. He just won't answer any of my calls or texts. He's told our friends what happened, and they're all on his side, saying I was really mean and cruel. I love him, and I do want to live with him eventually. I just don't want to live with him if I'm doing everything. And the one thing I don't want is him paying extra for me to do all the housework. This is quite insane, honestly. I'm just looking to see if there is an update. No, not really. Like, this guy is so much a type, you know? like, and like, the dad is exactly raising all his sons like this, which is quite useless. Like, they view having a wife as having a maid, exactly like they pay and then the maid cleans. And it is so insane that the mom agreed in the first place to that agreement. But okay, whatever, it was the last generation. But that she raised also her sons like this is insane. I think the girlfriend has every right to be like this. It's so understandable. Living some time alone will force him to learn some stuff which he should. The issue is that he doesn't even have the mindset that he needs to learn this stuff. He's just like, oh, I will just pay more, which is just insane. He has the exact same mindset as the dad, so this girl should know that if in any case she budges and just goes straight to living with him, she is going to turn into that mother. And she says she doesn't want to. So I feel like this should be kind of an ultimatum because there is no other way around, in my opinion. Either he has to prove that he is gonna learn and goes and learns, or nothing. Because if he promises that, oh, he will learn, let's move in together and I will learn, he won't. He won't, and she'll just have to do everything. So that's so messed up. And basically, yeah, no, that's that's insane. That is insane. Like, he wants a mate exactly like his father, and that is messed up. Like, maybe not messed up. I don't know. Say they're not compatible. Let's say it like this. At the very least, yeah, maybe some girl will be okay with this, and he can go and find that girl. But this girl is saying no, and if he loves her, he should be able to learn some few basic life skills to be able to be with her. You know, everyone has to pay a price for a relationship to work. So at least that's my idea. So that is insane, and hopefully they find an agreement. What is more insane to me is all the friends taking her side. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she's not explaining everything clearly, but from what she's explaining to us, no, she's on the right. All right, let's go to the next story. Today I effed up by accidentally joining an advanced kickboxing class. This happened last Tuesday, but I'm still waking like a 90-year-old man, so I figured I would share. So recently I started trying to get in better shape since I had some extra cash, and there is this MMA gym that opened up near me and they had a deal for new members, so I signed up. They offer different kickboxing classes throughout the day and I wanted to try the beginners one. I checked the schedule online and saw kickboxing fundamentals at 7 p.m. on Tuesdays. Perfect. I show up Tuesday at 7, walk in, everyone is already wrapping their hands and grabbing jump ropes. I grab some wraps and try to copy what everyone else is doing, even though I basically tied my hands together like an idiot. Then the coach starts the warm up and everyone's doing jump rope, but like the fancy crossover stuff and double unders, and I'm just here trying to like not fall over and not trip over the rope every 5 seconds. But I figured maybe the beginners class was just more intense than I thought. Nope. Turns out the fundamentals class is at 7 p.m. on Thursdays. This was the intermediate class, but I did not realize until we started partner drills. The coach pairs everyone up, and I'm with this guy who looks like he fights professionally or something. He's got colorful, he has broken ears and everything. Coach explains we're doing pad work where one person holds, the other throws the combination. Sorry, one person holds and the other throws combinations. My partner goes first and he's calling out these crazy combinations like jab cross, lead hook, my body kick, switch kick, and I'm just standing there holding the pads, trying not to get knocked over every time he kicks. Then it's my turn, and I don't even know what half these combos are, and the coach is yelling, double jab, cross sleep, lead uppercut. And I'm like, which hand is the lead again? My partner is trying to be helpful and guide my punches, but I can tell he's confused why someone this clueless is in the class. At one point, I threw a kick and almost fell over because I have zero balance. I kept thinking someone would stop me and be like, hey man, you sure you're in the right class? But everyone just assumed I knew what I was doing, I guess. My ego wouldn't let me admit I messed up, so I just kept stumbling through the combinations for another 45 minutes, while my partner probably wondered how I made it this far in life. By the end of the class, my shoulders were on fire from holding pads and my shins hurt from kicking wrong. The coach came over and asked if I was okay, and I just mumbled something about being rusty. He looked confused, but I said I did alright for getting back into it, and I just went with it. It's been a whole week now, and I still can't lift my arms properly. My legs are so sore I have to hold on to stuff to sit down on the toilet. I can't grip things right because my forearms are destroyed, and I just laid down and played steak. My roommate asked if I got jumped, and honestly, that would have been less embarrassing than the truth. The worst part is, I actually want to go back, but to the real beginners class on Thursday. But what if it's the same coach and he's there and recognizes me as the guy who clearly had no idea what a lead hook was, but refused to admit it. I think this is a really funny one, but also the embarrassment is understandable, but not to the point of stopping you to going to the real beginner class on Thursday. Hopefully, you go to the class anyway. This is from a week ago, so it already happened. He didn't update us. Like I feel like there's no shame. Hopefully, he just went to the beginners class. The coach would surely understand. Uh, and honestly, the fact that he had the enthusiasm and I don't know, like stamina to go through that intermediate class and surviving it, well, barely, but it still shows that he can do it, you know. Hopefully, he just keeps on trying and goes to the beginner class. He sounds like he has some talent, but yeah. Alright, the next story is from Today I F'd Up, and it says, today I F'd up by looking at my coffee grinder. I've been using this grinder every day for like 4 years. It's a semi manual one where you press a button with the portafilter to make it go. Probably about a year after getting it, I noticed when you first press the button, it likes to build up a bit of grind before it starts coming out. I just assumed it had always done that and confidently moved on with my life. Big mistake. Today I used it, and after a longer than usual build up, it dropped a clump of grind with a string connecting the clump to the inside of the spout. Curious for a change, I put the portafilter down and I slipped the spout cover off. noticing there were more strings in there, all quivering with little bits of coffee grinds stuck to them. I thought, oh no, did a wee little spider get in there overnight? Like Pandora on the fateful day, I could not contain my newfound curiosity. Much to the detriment of my vassals, I got a torch, turned it over, and uh, learned that inside my trusty coffee grinder was not just one wee little spider, but a multi generational society inside a vast structure that would put the people of Derinkuyu to shame. There was evidence that they had accounted for the downpour of grains that no doubt played a key role in the folklore among their people. They had built a spout inside the spout, and it was inside the walls of their spout that they had lived until the day came when their structure could no longer bear up to the bean tsunami that I would inflict upon them in my infinite wisdom. So now here I am. Would I be happier if I never knew? As it stands today, I'm a person that, in one fell swoop, managed to dismantle a thriving community of living beings, right along with my own sense of surety that, surely, and belief that I have any level of vigilance that's keeping me safe from harm. I like that's unfortunate. Like I don't know how I would feel. I wouldn't have that much of a problem with the destruction of the spiders because like honestly they were really stupid to choose such a place to make a community. I would have a problem with the coffees that I've drank throughout the past year, honestly, and the comments are quite good. And with this one commenter says, "But was your coffee silky smooth?" And he says that obviously shamefully, not really. Uh, so yeah, like I would have just like honestly burned the whole coffee machine or like throw it into the sun or something. I would have more problem with them existing than destroying them. But that's me. Everyone has their own stuff. So this video also comes to an end, guys. Thank you very very much for being here, and hopefully I will see you next Sunday, I think.